Welcome to Speak Harmony, hosted by Sharon Thompson and Dr. Sharon Reed, bringing news, ideas, and community needs. We learn, we grow, we stay informed together in harmony. Our voices are heard. Speak Harmony, where knowledge meets community.
National Little League Week. Okay.
Wow.
So this is the
Interesting.
week.
Little
That's
League
right.
Week. Yeah. So big up to all the
yeah,
little
and then you were
leaguers.
talking about recognizing the youth, right?
Yes.
And so it's really about instilling sportsmanship, which we talked about in
Discipline.
many times in our podcast before, volunteering, physical fitness,
Yes.
and just appreciation for the game. Now, I don't like, or I shouldn't say I don't like, I don't watch baseball. Even though it was a big thing in New York, it was always boring to me. And, tennis and racquetball, those are just not my sports. That
Really?
I like to watch it going this way. But did you like it?
I did. Even in Jamaica.
My mother was on
table tennis.
softball.
Tennis, badminton,
You like that?
Oh yeah, I like that. So,
Okay.
but you're right. In Jamaica, we called it. So different, a little different. So it was rounders or what do you call that? Softball and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
So,
my mother used to
we
be in
played, and then there
softball,
was
yeah.
netball, and so we were very physically active as the youth.
And it's
you know.
surprising because my family, particularly my mother and her sister, love sports, every kind of sport.
And I played a
you
little
never
soccer
know
too.
it.
I have to add.
Oh, yeah?
Cricket, I never did. For some reason, I love to look at them because they were always sharp and they're white.
Yes,
they're
yes.
so clean. Like they shouldn't play because it's gonna mess up the white. And then my grandmother, girlfriend, those Jamaicans, those island people, when it came to cricket.
Yes.
This was my grandmother when she's sitting with that little transistor radio up on her ears, and she was like, it was glued to her ears because she would not. and
Don't
we-
disturb.
Girlfriend, when they're playing, and especially if the West Indies is, oh
They're
my
on
God.
top? Don't joke.
Let me
Don't
tell you,
joke.
she would be like, children? And she would she just put her finger, get out the
You
side.
already know
Just
what's
get-
going on.
But
That's right.
That's cool. So yes.
So, big up to
got
the Little Leaguers
Little
for
leaguers.
this week.
Yes.
And we're going to say big up to our guests.
Oh my gosh. If we are, we're not going to take any more of the time because let me tell you, we thank you again for the guests who are here in the studio and those online. We love that you come in and you join us every week. But guys, we've got an amazing guest in studio tonight. Warren Bungo Mitchell. Okay?
Right.
Warren Mitchell, affectionately known as Bungo. I call him Bungo because he likes Bungo. So, hey, I give the people what they want. Right? He's a licensed clinician, author, and personal culture curator with over 35 years. 35 what?
35 years.
Yeah, don't crack. But 35, he started at 1. 35 years of experience walking alongside people through their most defining moments of change. His debut book, The Sacred Forge. Wow, The Sacred Forge. The fire was never meant to destroy you. Published through Grove Press, it's built on a deceptively simple but life-altering premise. The fire you've been trying to escape may be the very thing designed to remake you. Wow.
Shadrach and Abednego.
Hello. Drawing on clinical wisdom, ancestral healing traditions, and over 3 decades of sitting with people in crisis and transformation, Bungo reframes suffering as sacred process, not punishment, not accident, but forge. I'll say that again. He reframes suffering as sacred process.
Absolutely.
Not punishment, not accident, but forge. And we'll dive a little
We gotta
deeper into
dive
that in a
into
minute.
this.
The
Absolutely.
sacred forge invites readers to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, how can I become a better version of myself through it? A shift that changes everything. So we're going to welcome you, Mr. Bungo, back to the studio. We welcome you.
Thank you.
Blessings
Thank
and
you
more
both
blessings.
for having me here
Wow.
once again.
Pleasure.
Yes, Mr. Warren is a repeat. So you have to check
Absolutely,
it out.
yes.
It's so nice we had to do it. What? Thrice.
Thrice.
Three times. Not 2, 1, 2, 3. So, Warren,
Yes,
you've spent 35 years helping people navigate life's most difficult transitions. What inspired you really to finally write The Sacred Forge at this time? You know, in this point of your journey.
Yeah.
What inspired that?
It's been a long time goal to write a book, to bring the different frameworks that I have to support people and wanting to find a way where I could support people and not having to be directly in front of them. I've tried many times to write it, and it just wasn't coming out with the voice that I wanted, so I put it off. I stopped telling people I'm writing a book. And then in December, while I'm working on a framework for my Ancestors Way program, I wanted to help my clients, those who are going through different life situations, how to incorporate what they're learning into that. And as I was doing that, I pulled one framework and saw how that fit, and I pulled another framework and saw how that fit. I'm like, wait a minute. As I'm continuing to write, I'm like, more frameworks were coming in and aligning. And I'm like, wait a minute, this can stand on its own, not just as a framework. And so in December, by the end of January, early February, I had 21 chapters already written. Stuff started pouring out of me that was already there. And it was just a matter of doing a lot of modification, refining. And I was going through my own fires as well, and needing to know how to go through fires without having it burn you up. And so I say one of the best things to do is, and plus of my own development and what I teach clients, is how can we use what we have gone through for our good? And I look to nature as a guide. And from one of the things I say to clients that with nature, nothing goes to waste. Everything gets used.
Wow.
Beautiful, absolutely.
And I'm while you were thinking, I mean, you know what song came to mind? Through the Fire.
Yeah.
Because everything is refined
Right.
going through the fire. Believe it or not, it gets better.
It's
Right.
cleansing, yeah.
Cleansing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So so I get the fire part. How did you come up with this title?
The title came while coming up with this. I started getting some downloads. You mentioned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And that was one of the images that came to mind. I'm like, they went through the fire
and didn't get burned.
didn't get burned.
Wow.
And so two things came out of that for me. First was I told God, like, look, you can, just like when I think Solomon had asked for wisdom instead of everything else, and God blessed him with everything else. I say, I want to know how to trust you no matter what I'm going through. So you can take everything else I've asked for. Just help me trust you through it. And so the Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego came when the king told them, serve my God or burn in the pit.
Yes.
And they said that the God we serve is able. Right? They didn't say initially the God we serve will definitely, he's able.
He's able.
So he's able because if he chooses to, he will save us from the fire. If he chooses not to, they said, we will still not serve your God.
Wow.
And so I came up with the even if not trust, which is in the book as well, saying that even if what God has promised me or what I think God has promised me doesn't look like it's coming to pass, Lord, I will trust in your character,
Yeah.
not in my circumstances or not how things
I will
appear.
trust in your character,
Trust in your
not in
character.
the circumstances.
That's deep.
yeah.
And then
That's
the other
deep.
piece was when the king saw that they weren't screaming and they were walking around loose because they bounded them and put them in the fire. And he's like, wait a minute, didn't we just throw 3 guys in there? They're like, yeah. So his boys were like, well, what's going on? And he's like, well, there's another one. There's a 4th presence. So I use that as the 4th presence can be the spirit. It can be another person. It can be wisdom that we use to help us through tough times
Yes.
that prevents us from getting burned. The 4th presence can also be ancestral downloads that we may be able to receive. But importantly, we in our self-true identity can be the 4th presence for our humanity, for our wounded self.
Yes.
We
yes,
must
yes.
learn to the fire helps, just like with what it does to metal.
Yes.
It breaks away the impurities from the metal. So the fire helps us to break away from who we thought we were based on pain and trauma and past experiences to who we really are.
Can become.
Who can become.
Yes.
And then that version of us, our self-true identity or
Yeah.
spirit self, now is responsible to be the guardian of our wounded self.
Talking my
Mic drop.
language.
Mic drop.
So we can be
I love
a force
it.
presence
Yes.
for our own selves.
Yeah.
Because when we don't learn how to do that, we constantly are looking for someone on the outside to save us,
Yeah.
to be there for us, to validate us. And we don't realize we have a responsibility to do that for ourselves.
Wow.
Wow, we're just getting started,
I mean,
y'all.
really.
But you know, I mean,
We just gonna
We
shut
can-
up and
we-
let him talk.
hello, that part. That was my exact. You know,
You
that
were
was
thinking
exact.
that same thing.
I was like, listen, you've got the floor, brother, because let me tell you, the questions are answered because there are folks watching
Yes.
and they're going through the fire
Yeah.
and they're on fire, or so they think. And you know, like they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You can't tell anyone who's going through that fire or who's in the fire.
That's right.
You can't tell
Yeah.
a brother or sister that. They don't
Right.
want to hear that.
Right.
But you know, when you come out on the other end, when you're that fourth, when you're with that fourth person, that space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So there are folks that are suffering because right now in this particular element of society where we are, especially as a people of color,
Yeah.
we're going through.
That's right.
Worldwide, the people are going through. And I don't know how to encapsulate it, but speak to where you would see suffering, because they're seeing suffering as punishment rather than transformation. Can you speak a little to that?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is that we have to meet people where they are. And if their perception of what they're going through is suffering, even it may not be as bad as somebody else's, it doesn't matter. That's their perception, and we need to take that seriously and meet them where they are. But there's a quote that I like, and I think it goes something to the fact that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. And that's because the suffering that many of us are encountering is our perception or the narrative that we're telling ourselves about what we're going through. Trauma isn't really what happened to us. It is the story we're telling ourselves about what happened to us. Because the event in the past stays where it was
Yes.
in the past.
Yes.
What we take with us is the narratives that becomes the container of the pain.
Yeah.
And no matter where we go, that narrative, if we still hold on to it, it carries the pain. So that when there's an experience we may have that is familiar to that pain, we get re-triggered and we feel the pain as if it just happened
Yeah.
versus years ago.
And so it's where some people say that the past, if it's stored in the body, it is in the
Yes,
present.
that's right.
Right? Because the trauma is what you
Right.
think the story,
That's
but
right.
it's also where it's stored in the
In the
body.
body.
And so
And
when that
yes.
trigger happens, this is why it feels like it's happening
It's happening.
today.
Correct.
Yes,
And so that's why
exactly. On
healing
point.
and ancestral healing in
Yes.
particular is so important because,
critical.
we carry it in our DNA,
That's right.
our emotional DNA, just like our physical traits. And so, as I'm sure you would agree, that if we don't heal and recognize those patterns, then we still are in the fire.
We're still in it, right? And some of us, we put on certain suits to protect,
Facades.
to pretend that we're not burning, right? To pretend that we're okay.
Masks.
And the mind, right, is if the mind believes that we are okay, it provides evidence that says we're okay, even when we are not.
Yes.
The mind does not know the difference between what is true and what is
What's
not.
not.
So it leans towards what we want it to be.
Yeah. And it's
If
there
You
to
know,
protect
yes.
us.
It,
Right.
it sure is.
Yeah.
Because, people say stuff like, I've gone through this or I've dealt with this. And you know what? It is so bad, I'm just not going to forgive them. I can't forgive them
Right.
because, for what they put me through. But, I've also heard, and I'm learning as we go and we grow, that healing takes place in forgiveness.
Yes.
Big time, because forgiveness, as they say, is not for the person that hurt you.
Right.
It's really for you.
That's right.
It's for you, because if you're holding that grudge,
Right.
you're getting the cancer,
Right.
the whatever the diseases are.
That's right.
And so, speak a little bit, and I know it's a little off tangent, but it's still there,
Okay.
about forgiveness, forgiving folks, healing from forgiveness, because
Yes.
and how that takes place. Address that a little bit.
We sometimes when we hear, especially from religion, we hear about forgiveness, and we think it's supposed to be like a light switch that we can turn on and turn off. Forgiveness is a process,
Yes.
right? And we first have to sit with the pain that we are in, and that to me is a beginning of forgiveness. Learning to sit with the pain, not worrying about the other person, not worrying about going to the other side, just being present with where you are in your pain. All right, in the movements of the Forge, there's 4 main movements of the Forge. The first one is called seeing, which is about becoming aware that you are triggered, becoming aware something feels off, becoming aware something in you, something is happening that made your comfort uncomfortable. What we tend to do, what many of us have learned to do from a survival mindset, is to jump to fixing. Right?
Yeah.
And that's where we think, well, to be a good child of God, I have to forgive. Let me learn to, and we start faking forgiveness,
Wow.
Absolutely.
right?
Faking forgiveness.
Yeah.
I've never heard it put that way.
Yeah, I call that you forgave in your head, but you didn't
Not
forgive
in
in
your
your
heart,
heart.
right.
And so it still comes up. You can say, "Oh, I forgive them," but you see the anger or
See
or the
them,
grief,
hear their
or
name.
the feeling and
Yeah.
the tear, and you can see that pain still. You
Right.
didn't forgive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our nervous system feels
Feels it.
betrayed.
That's correct.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right? We are the ones that were designed to sit in the seat of authority, to sit on our throne, to govern our being, all right, including our body.
Wow.
But if we are saying something to ourselves that doesn't align with what the nervous system is sensing, it starts to learn not to trust us.
Conflicts.
Right?
huh?
All right?
Yeah.
And so it then leans towards whatever it is that helps it feel better. So if the ego comes up with a lie that helps our nervous system feel
love
better,
it. Yeah.
it starts building a connection with the ego as the throne, as the one reigning on the throne.
Yeah. And
Wow.
that's your story
Right.
that you've given. Yeah. So how do what are some of the most common ways that people resist, the experience to kind of transform? They know that it's coming, but there's
Yeah.
that fear. What is that resistance about? Talk to that.
Some people might focus on, we heard of the fight or flight, I call it. I have a piece in the book that talks about the ego's toolkit. And it uses fight, flight, freeze, and fawn.
Fawn.
Right? And the fight is when you try to confront the fire. Right? You think you're tougher than what you're going through. I ain't gonna let this defeat me. And
Yeah.
all along the fire is like, you're just fueling the fire.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
What your soul needs is for you to learn to take back the power that fires have taken away from you in your life.
Wow.
And the fire wants to give that back to you,
Yes.
which is why it's here. It's not here to try and destroy you. It is here to forge you,
Yeah.
to reveal your brilliance, right? But if you have the wrong mindset to taking it on, you are going to feel that the fire, the struggle you're going through is an enemy. And as long as you identify it as an enemy, your mind says that's
It
an
is.
enemy. So if you're in a relationship
Yeah.
and you identify your partner, your child, your parent as a threat or an enemy, there's no way you're going to feel comfortable being fully present in that person's space.
And that's the resistance.
And that's resistance. So that's another way we flee. All right, we create walls. We put up persona. We smile. I was talking to a client today. It's like, you mentioned that I smile a lot as a defense. What does that mean? And I'm like, well, you have learned that you don't want to have other people see you in pain, and so you've learned to smile or to laugh.
You know what I call that?
Yeah,
I call
have
that
to-
wearing
yeah.
masks.
I love
Put
that
on-
you
put on a
say that
mask.
because recently, just Saturday, that's right, I forgot. Saturday, I was doing a presentation, and we were talking about mental illness
Yes.
versus mental health and emotional health. And one of the things that I said to watch out is for when people laugh in every minute for no
Right,
reason, and you're
right.
talking to them and they're laughing. I
Right.
said the same exact
Yes,
thing. It's
exactly.
a self-reflection. You're reflecting it off or
Right.
projecting and
it's a
you're
protective.
hiding. It's a protect. You're hiding how you really feel. Some people, it could be a little ignorance, but
right,
right. But on the most part, if you're seeing that, so just like the smiling,
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing at church. I mean, I say to people that, don't fake the funk. Because, you see people at church, especially the very churchy people, and when you see them, hey, how you doing, brother so-and-so or sister so-and-so? Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored, and glory to God. And they're so holy. And I'm like, and I know you and your husband was just fighting in that car. right? But you walk in the door,
Sharon.
hello, good morning. And you see what I'm saying? So
I get
what
it.
we have to do is, as a society, as real people, going through real things, real emotions, we need to stop faking the funk. Because, I mean, honestly, I think this is what we do. And I'm not knocking church people. I'm just saying that we go to church, we go to places, and we hide behind the masks.
Yeah.
And so when we get in, before we get to the car, the masks fall off. We get in the car and we're like, let me tell you something. You know, when I get home or before I get home.
Sometimes
so,
in the
you know,
church, see, we're
that part,
Them
that they
look
don't
on
sit-
him, look on she.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
look
not
on
only
him.
that, pastors up there preaching
Yeah.
the word.
Yeah.
And you see them over there cutting eyes at the sister over there in her short dress. That's
Yeah,
all she
yeah.
had. And she showed up at church. So we need to stop judging people. You know, so you're you're a licensed clinical social worker, so to speak,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. Not so to speak, I am.
Is.
You, well, yes, correction.
licensed.
Yes, a licensed
Professional.
My bad. How has your professional experience influenced your philosophy behind this book, The Sacred Forge?
I think having the opportunity to see the amount of people that I have served and to support, there are some commonalities that a lot of them have, including my own, that I realized that, you know what, there's more to this work than just clinical aspect. There's a spiritual component to it. And if we just do like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and we don't understand the spirit of the being, the human being, that's the most favorable asset, right, that a person brings to the table is who they are in their spirit, right? That DNA that is directly from the divine essence cannot be destroyed and should not be ignored.
Lord, yeah.
Right? So I wanted to bring a book that brought those two together,
Yeah.
that we are one full being,
Yeah.
right? We're a spiritual being ultimately, and some people might say having a human experience. And I believe that our brilliance incorporates our imperfections. It does not exclude it.
Man.
It can't, because one
Right.
can't live with the other,
Right.
without the other, and you have to be able to discern and recognize. So you know,
Well,
when
we're
we
gonna
come
go on a-
back,
yes, we're
right?
going on
We'd
a
love for
break.
you to
We
read
can't
some,
wait.
and we got some more questions for
Yes,
you.
we do. We'll be right back.
All right, and we are back. Welcome.
Back. Oh my goodness.
So you know,
This studio is
I mean, we are on
We're
fire.
on fire up in here. Talk about going through the fire.
You know-
Man, so we have a couple of things happening
Yes,
this
events.
upcoming weekend and beyond. So we want to jump right into that before
Yeah.
we continue with our amazing guest. So we've got the first thing we have here, oh gosh, the relationship blueprint. Okay, there's a sister, she's a motivational speaker, Miss Kayon Clay. She has this event coming up on June 11th, okay, from 5 to 9 p.m. And it's going to be at 4870 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard in Norcross. She's got an amazing, amazing lineup. So, guys, you don't want to miss this. Look out for the relationship blueprint. It's going to be at the NBH Events venue at 4870 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard in Norcross. That's this coming June 11th. Okay? 5 to 9 p.m. And then, in keeping with Caribbean Heritage Month, we've got the Caribbean Quiz Bowl, Knowledge, Culture, Pride, Victory. It's going to be this coming Saturday, June 13th. It's going to be at the White Oak Hills Baptist Church at 5171 Redan Road, Stone Mountain, Georgia at 3 p.m. You don't want to miss that, guys. Every year, Monica Fotheringham, boy, she comes with it. She brings it. And on that same day, for the children, so they're not to be left out at all, starting at noon at the same location. So that the quiz bowl is for the parents, the adults, but then for the children, we have the children's event starting at noon. And it's a Caribbean spelling bee. Oh my
spelling
God, that is
bee.
an amazing, amazing family get together right? So they do the Caribbean stories, including Anansi Tales from West Africa and so on. So you'll be there hanging out with the librarian. And then on June 19th, we have the Caribbean Connection. And it's going to be at Amazon right down the street from here. It's
down the street.
2255 West Park Place Boulevard in Stone Mountain. That's this coming Friday, June 19th at from 5 to 7.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Sorry, it's the following Friday. My bad.
19th.
The following on the 19th. So you got to check
Right.
your calendars.
Yeah.
And then we have the Freedom in My Voice poetry.
Oh, my
okay, and
goodness.
that's on June 19th. That's another event, open mic, and it's Isna Tianti. Okay, she's a poet, she's an author, visionary. The Sassy Collection is down there in the Hampton, the Creative Center. Sister Naima does an amazing event. So for those that live in that area, please check it out. The doors open at 7:30, so that's Friday, June 19th. That's next Friday, June 19th, 4291 North Expressway, Hampton, Georgia. The Sassy Collection, you can look her up. She's on social media, and she does amazing, amazing things. So, on June 20th, we've got the Caribbean Film Festival. And it's in keeping with the Caribbean Heritage Month, the Metropolitan Library at 1332 Metropolitan Parkway in Atlanta. And of course, last but not least, we have Juneteenth celebrations, because next week is Juneteenth. So we're preparing y'all, right?
I mean,
June 20th, okay? We've got in Snellville at South Gwinnett High School, 2228 Main Street from 11 to 4 p.m. We've got our Juneteenth celebration. So be out. The last and not least is our Atlanta Jamaican Association. We're telling you, put it on your calendars because tickets are going fast, okay? And this month, the end of this month, early bird tickets are going to be disappearing. So get your tickets now. They're really going crazy fast. August 8th, put it on your calendar. You do not want to miss Sonia Richards Ross, okay? She's going to be our keynote speaker, but it's the annual Independence Ball at Stone Mountain Park, the Evergreen Hotel. Don't want to miss it. The view, the ambiance,
Yeah,
what
very
we
nice.
have in store for you guys, you're not going to be disappointed. You're going to thank me later. We thank you for all of that. Thank you for your attention. But
that was
wow.
We're doing a lot for the month
Oh
of
my
June.
gosh.
We
June
got it
is-
going on.
We need another month.
All
to
right,
do
don't
Caribbean
joke with
Heritage
Atlanta.
Month.
Atlanta's stepping
Big
up.
ups,
Okay.
yes.
All
So,
right, my brother.
Rivers.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Tell me, your work blends, your clinical work blends it with ancestral healing traditions. So why is that important?
I think it's important to recognize the contribution we have made to this world, to ourselves, and in the westernized culture, we have been using another person's perspective on how to live healthy. That does not always align with what is best for us. And in some of that, what is deemed to be healthy goes against who we are, is to see ourselves in a negative light, and to take away from how we were created. And I think how God created nature is to live in ecosystems and community.
Yeah.
And in the westernized culture is a lot of focus on independence. With regards to African ancestral wisdom, Ubuntu, I am because we are, and in my Ancestors Way program, I use it to say that I thrive, therefore
You
thrive, of course.
Yeah.
right? So my development is important for the community's development. The community's development is important for my development. And we see a oneness within that ecosystem that
One love.
I think we should never exclude. Even there was a term that was used, I heard, called kava, I think it's the name, a Jewish term that means waiting, but not waiting that is just waiting for God to come through. It's an anticipated waiting. So I'm like, I need to find an African word that's symbolic. I like that. So the name that you all might be familiar with, Taraji.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? Taraji is a similar meaning to wait. but not waiting, just waiting for God. But I use it, I added more meaning to it, whereas like, while I'm waiting, let me focus on the things that I can do something
Yes.
about, rather
That's
than
right.
the things I cannot do something
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think when we have stories or have frameworks that are connected to our culture and our spirituality and way of life, we feel more connected and more grounded.
Yeah.
And we are also tapping into ancestral prayers that
Yeah.
may have been poured down to our
Yeah.
community when we
Yeah.
access those.
Right, right, yeah,
Yeah.
because that all of that is just downloaded into our DNA, you know, while we're in the wait,
Right.
you
I
know.
agree.
So waiting doesn't mean sit back and chill and watch
Yeah.
soap operas and
Yeah.
you know gossip and
Right.
it's just
Right.
peaceful, you know,
Right.
working on self, doing while you're waiting.
Yeah.
Wow. So-
yeah, and we love that part, right? That ancestral part.
Yes,
That
yes.
is the bringing about the communal. I loved what you said in reference to the different cultures.
Yes.
Independence
Oh, yeah.
versus
Oh, yeah.
communal
Communal,
living.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and what you eat. We noticed that. I've noticed that recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
What people are eating when there's certain Western foods that are coming to the islands or into Africa. You see even their body shapes
Yeah.
are
Oh, absolutely.
beginning
Right.
to change.
Absolutely.
Right.
The mentality begins to change
Right.
when we're not eating the foods that is indigenous to where we really
right.
come from. So yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
Yes, well said.
Oh yeah. So, one of your books, Central Questions, is moving from why is this happening to me to how can I become better through this?
Right.
Why is that shift so transformative, would you say?
I think the reality is many of us have gone through so many challenging experiences, especially as kids, that we didn't have control over.
Yes.
And the natural survival mechanism is to put ourselves in a position of we were victimized. But staying in a victimized role does not help us tap into our brilliance, right? And so we need a way of life that can say, yes, this has happened to me, and it has influenced me up until this point. Now I have to ask a different question. Now what am I going to do about it?
Right.
Right? We were not created to operate in survival, nor to operate as victims. Right? We can be victimized and still recognize our worth and worthiness and responsibility to the
Yes.
brilliant wonder of who we are.
Yeah.
Right? And there we tap into our power. And then we can then use whatever it is we have gone through for our good. It taps into a power
Yes.
that says, bring it almost.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I am ready.
Yes.
Because I know I am not alone,
That's it.
right? I have the divine in me, and I have my village.
Of course.
Yeah.
And there's a saying that says, I am not where I'm from. In other words,
Right.
what I've been through does not
Right.
define my future,
That's
my
right.
destiny.
Right.
Because I mean, I may be going through the fire now,
Right.
but I'm looking because at the end of the tunnel,
Right.
there is
Yes.
light
There
at the end
is.
of that tunnel.
Right. And
You know,
in-
and so many people have proven that though.
Right.
Yeah.
So many people have really proven that, where they've grown up in adverse poverty and
Right.
just all sorts of, you know, drunkenness and abuse and you name it, they've
Right.
been through it. And yet, all they can see, because you hear the stories every day
Yeah.
of people saying, you know what, my father was this, my mother was this, my mother dropped me, my father dropped me.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? I'm here to tell you that forgive them, first of all, because you don't even know why your mom dropped you off. at
What they
grandmother's.
went
Right,
through.
right.
That's it. She dropped you off at your grandmother's house because that was a safest place for you.
Right.
You really don't know. Forgive your mother.
Right.
Forgive your mother for that. Forgive your father for maybe leaving the household, leaving you because you know what? Hadn't he done that, we don't know what would have happened.
Right.
Sometimes we need, adversity to really push us to our destiny.
Yes.
And so a lot of people, a lot of successful people, when you hear them, they weren't born in this luxury or whatever. And you kind of alluded to that a little
Yeah.
bit. Can you tell us something? Because time is going, and I want you to share a little story of someone whose life changed dramatically when they adopted the mindset of moving through adversity, transforming, forging through
Yeah.
that place of adversity.
One, it's and sometimes the transformation isn't like the end I've arrived and I have accomplished and I've overcome. Sometimes it's a major major hurdle or hill to go over. I had one client, she's in her 50s, but she's had a life of abuse. I think I read about it in a book, and married. I think it's a second marriage, and it's just constant abuse. And she has 2 sons that she's not close to them. She wants to be. She wants to make up for it. Her identity is tied to being a mom that is doing good for her sons, and need for them to see her and validate her for it. But none of them are. Right?
Yeah.
So she's doubting who she is and her worth and worthiness. And when I start talking to her about her responsibility to herself, that she does not need their validation, that her own worth and validation is more important to her.
Yeah.
She was able to get to a place, and she was so excited one day when she came in, and she's like, my son told me I'm not invited to his wedding. And I felt so good. That I did not feel bad. I did not have to attend and fake
Yes,
it.
yes.
Because that's what I would have done.
The
Yes.
perspective.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
But today, I
Yeah.
can say if that's what he wants, no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And the other one, if that's where he is and he doesn't want me in his life right now,
Yeah.
I have work to do on me.
I
Yeah.
will survive.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm going to
Right.
focus on that and less energy and stress towards worrying about what they think
Yes.
about her.
Yes.
So that I would say is a miraculous transformation.
Yeah, because I actually said that to a couple today, and it's like if you change, then the situation around you changes.
Yeah.
And that's just a basic law of the universe, right? That you do your work, you change your mindset, and watch everything else has to change
And
too.
who said that? The great prophet himself, Bob Marley. Bob Marley said, "Nothing changes until you change." I mean, you've got to change. So to change, you got to change your circumstances, your situation. Sometimes you have to move. People move away. They say, "Listen, I've had it with this place and this space."
All the time,
And they go
yeah.
look, and they go someplace where they feel free and new and stuff. I mean, look.
So
You describe.
we're talking about a story, right? Can you read?
Can you? Yeah. That was my next. Get into
So
that book, 'cause
we are
wanna
in sync.
hear-
We already know how this
we
goes.
want to hear something from that juicy. How many pages is that? That's a page turner right
Yeah,
there.
it is. It's a 278.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
that's
it's,
a decent read.
It's a decent read.
Yes.
So I have something called the ego's homeostasis mission.
Okay.
Excuse me. Here is what makes ego governance particularly challenging. The ego's primary job is to keep things comfortable. It operates like a thermostat, which is designed to maintain homeostasis, keep your internal temperature constant, and prevent uncomfortable change, even if the same is making you miserable. Ego compels you to stay because it is the path of least resistance. This looks like keeping or choosing the same type of destructive or counterproductive partner, returning to the same self-defeating patterns, and resisting transformation even when you consciously want it because the unknown is scarier. The ego equates familiar or comfort with safe.
The unknown is
Wow.
is comfortable.
The unknown.
The unknown.
Is
Is
scarier.
Scarier. That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So you stay in what is familiar.
Familiar.
Because it's comforting.
Yeah.
And you always say the big ego. There are people with big egos. A lot of times, you have to forgive them, because I know my mother used to say, people who are the loudest or filled with ego and arrogance are usually pretty much essentially people who are insecure.
There are
Bullies,
people
yeah.
or who are also hurting.
Yes,
Right?
you're
And the
in a lot of
ego
pain, yeah.
has
Mask.
recognized that they don't know how to sit on their throne. So it'll do it for them.
Yes.
And the ego is not an enemy.
No.
Right? The ego is actually a protector, a captain of the royal guards,
Yes.
as I call it.
I like
Ego
that.
is looking
Yeah.
That a
for
lot.
us to guide it.
Protect.
Yeah.
Right?
Direct.
But when the ego senses we're not sitting on the throne, like stuff is happening, our nervous system is constantly awry, the ego's like, nah, we're not doing this. And we'll take over.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then when we try to take back the throne, the ego's not going to just give it up.
No.
because we have to rebuild our relationship with our
trust.
nervous system, and
Yeah.
and that's a
Nice.
practice.
Wow.
Yes. And I think that's that. I like that ending when you say it's a practice. I think that people don't realize that healing is much more than just a journey. It is a practice.
It is a
it's
practice.
part of your daily living. It is a religion.
That's right.
It is a religion,
Right.
right? And a religion is a way of life.
Right.
It is.
Right? So yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm looking forward to
So, you
reading
know,
it.
I'm looking at something, and it says ego often refers to the illusion of a separate self, the idea that I am distinct and distinct entities separate from everything else.
Right.
And it's not.
It's not.
It's not. Wow. Interesting.
So if we
You just
we,
schooled
we
me.
take that, something that just came to me. We take that and we go back to what we said about westernized culture
Yes.
of individuality, and that's what the ego tries to separate and isolate and then compare. And we have to put another one down in order for us to elevate ourselves. So it gives an idea of how a lot of, not all, of westernized ideologies and culture is ego based.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
true.
and then you mentioned, you even mentioned about the foods that we eat. I mean, our diet, and right here in this country, in America, the SAD diet, because I've heard it said where a lot of these students, these young people out there, they're acting out, they're going through the stuff, but it's what you put in that comes out.
Right.
I mean, the foods that you eat, all that red dye in the drinks and all the stuff that they're literally poisoning the body, the temple, is what causes the revulsion. I mean, this madness rising up.
Yeah.
Right.
Speak to, and I know you deal in particular with adults, but the youth that are out there right now, because they're incensed, not by their own doing, but by what we're feeding them. We are in control as adults. The parents are the ones that provide the food or the foods that we share with our children. We give to them, we feed them, but we're not feeding them spiritual food as well. So the food that they're eating is poisoning their temple, their system. And we're wondering what's going on because there's a standard American diet, the SAD diet as they call it.
Right.
Which is sad.
Is it really
Which is sad.
It is really sad, but it's everywhere, like you said earlier, Sharon, that everybody's adapting. Well, they were adapting to this standard of living. Okay, this food. So you go to the islands, and everywhere you go, you can't go more than a half a mile without seeing a fast food joint because people are not cooking at home anymore. And if you say to a young person, "Hey, we're going to eat, whatever greens and whatever we grew up on," they look at you like you have two heads. We want pizza for dinner.
Yeah.
We want KFC. Not knocking any of those. We want hamburgers and hot dogs and anything that's man-made, pretty much.
Yeah. And have you talk about that, Sharon? Have you noticed how younger women are proud? Oh, I don't cook. I'm like,
I don't get that.
I don't cook. Oh no, I never cook.
Yeah.
I was
I don't
like,
get that.
really?
We eat out.
So now we know what's going on inside
Yes.
because cooking is also a healing,
Right.
right?
It is.
It's really getting grounded and
Can I just tell you this real quick? Last week I went to a place, a community garden right in our neighborhood. And from that, I got some goodies, some greens straight from out the garden.
And you didn't bring me any?
Girl,
I'm
let
not
me tell
talking to you.
I know. Let me tell you, I can't even say it on air because it would kill me. But let me tell you, I made a fresh salad with whatever that is, those colorful, and it's
The
going to escape me
arugula?
right now. No, it's the colorful, the decorative flowers that they put in all the fancy stuff when you
Oh,
go to,
yes.
and something, whatever, the name of it. But I made a salad. And let me tell you, eating that salad, I didn't need fish. I didn't need no proteins anyway. That was so delicious. It was so nice and fresh because it came straight from the earth.
Satisfying.
Right.
Yeah.
What the kids are eating these days, and a lot of adults, is the SAD diet. So they're eating all that manufactured stuff. I don't know. It makes y'all's work, your job, so much harder because it's like that food just
I think
destroys the temple, man.
It's a symptom of
It
what I
is.
think is happening in
Yeah.
our culture. There's people like emotionally eating.
Yes.
People are stressed, and having to come home and to cook takes a lot. People are tired.
So it's quicker
And
to just
so
grab
it's quick,
something.
yeah, it's
Quick
just
fix,
quicker,
right?
and it
Yeah.
starts off that way, and then it becomes a pattern because maybe that parent may not be managing their lives as they should to help them better take care of themselves and their families. So I think it's what we're seeing with the young people are symptoms. It's not the problem.
Yeah.
It's going to cause them problems, but it's something that has trickled down. When many of us might even say, back in the day, we used to do this. Some of the problems that we have today came from back in the day.
Hey, say that.
part.
Say that
Say it
again.
And it was problems that
camera.
went undealt
Say-
with.
say it
So problems of today, actually, many of them stem from how we parented in the past.
Yeah.
And certain things about our culture that we never challenged.
Yes.
That we need to take a look at.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Fist bump to
Deep.
that because I said this exactly to my clients this morning because they have young children and one of them were having that disciplinary
Yeah.
issues and had been labeled. And one parent says, well, I just do like how my parents did.
Right.
And I had to explain that this is a whole new generation and we can't do this. And no has to have an explanation for some of
Right.
these young. They have to know why it's a
Right.
no. And then there needs sometimes just a choice or a question, how do you feel?
Right.
And the other parent says, well, they never listen to let them finish the sentence. And so they were realizing I do need to listen
Right.
because their feelings are validated.
That's
We
right.
were brought up, some of us were brought up with that you don't worry about, do what I say and not what I
Right.
do. And we didn't get the respect
be seen and
from
not
that.
heard.
Right. And a lot of our parents didn't respect us the way
right.
we were taught to respect them and our elders. So, that's deep. So really speaking about that, tell me, what is the difference between surviving adversity and being transformed?
Surviving is operating from a mindset that there's a deficiency, there's some lack. I don't know how to. I don't know if I will make. And the focus is on the end. Thriving to transform or living to transform focuses more on present and recognizes that what is happening here? What can this thing teach me? What is the lesson I'm needing to pay attention to? Why is this still coming up? But you ask it from a place of curiosity rather than a place of blame and finding fault. And so the curiosity helps me to recognize that what truth is coming to my table isn't an enemy just because it challenges me.
Wow.
It's actually a friend. That reality, no matter what it is, we can get to a place where we can begin to see that reality is a roommate. We must learn to live with.
I like that. That's my new quote. Reality is a roommate. I got to write that one down.
Reality is a roommate. Wow. I like that. Reality
Is a roommate.
And if you don't get along with your roommate, you have a lot to deal with,
Hey,
because they ain't
then
going
you're
nowhere.
living in a fantasy,
Right,
huh?
exactly. So,
Wow. So, what would you say is a one word that describes your life journey? Just one word.
that is a journey.
Fair enough.
And we know everybody
enough.
should read
Everybody-
your book.
Yes.
What other book would you suggest?
Other books I would suggest. Let's see here. I have a few. I'm trying to remember the titles right now. I think it's called Small Habit. There is. Oh gosh, I'm blanking out. There's so many good books. There's for parenting. I like. Dr. I'm blanking out on her name now too, but the Conscious Parent.
Oh, Chef Shafali. Yes. Conscious
So
parenting.
I love
Yeah,
that
yeah.
book, and there are some others where I just can't come up
I'll
me
put
right
you,
now.
We put you on the spot there.
Okay,
That's
okay.
quite
Finish
all
the
right.
sentence. The fire becomes sacred when?
The fire
Nice one.
is sacred. We greet it as sacred when we recognize that it is not an enemy.
when we greet it as
fire. So remember that when you go through the fire, you're going through the fire. The fire really isn't an enemy.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Right.
It's what
Yes.
you have to go through
Yeah.
to build character,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
to be better.
That's right.
That's refining. Man, wow. Look,
So-
go out and tell people how they can get your book and what you have coming, because you've got an amazing situation, an event, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, I have my
coming
book
up.
launch coming up on January 19th.
Juneteenth?
Yes.
January
June.
or
No, June. I said
Oh,
January.
okay.
My fault.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
That's okay.
Might miss that.
June 19th. And you can access the book at journeyofselfdiscovery.org/books. And I will have some QR codes that you can also, that I'll be posting. But that's the landing page for the book. And I really want to encourage you. You can check me out on IG at warren.mitchell.inspires. And you can also email me at ajourneyofself@gmail.com. And right now I just got these books today, actually.
Oh, we are honored.
Yes.
Launch it with
Yes,
us.
yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
You are the first.
Yes.
Yes,
Love
yes,
it.
yes.
So, but I am one step away for it to be available on Amazon and Ingram and internationally, and so where it'd be print on demand, and so once you order it, it will be printed and sent to
Sent to
you.
you.
So this is self-published.
So this is self-published
That's it. That's
with
the way
my
to go.
own my own press.
Oh,
Love it.
look
Yes.
at that! Look at
Yes.
that! All right, I
stuff,
love
man.
that.
Big
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah, so big ups to the Grove
Yes.
community in St. Croix,
Ah,
Nice.
yes,
Nice.
yes.
the oldest baobab tree in the Caribbean.
Okay.
Wow, I love it. For anyone else listening, Bungo, who feels overwhelmed, discouraged, or broken by life's challenges, what message would Warren Bungo Mitchell want to hear? Want them to hear today? What's that one message?
It is not over. It might feel that way. Feelings are not facts. It's just factual that you're feeling that. Feelings,
Nice.
feelings are information. They're not instructions. So just because you feel a thing or feel a way doesn't mean you have to act out on it. The only way you can truly support what you're dealing with is by learning to sit with those feelings, because your nervous system wants you to take back charge. But if you keep surrendering to what's easier, it will learn to distrust you. What the fire you're going through here is really not meant to destroy you. It's meant to reveal your brilliance, but it's a practice. Find people who are on the journey with you, who have similar mindset, that can provide you with the support. You don't have to be perfect to take back your throne. You just have to want it and begin the process of practicing to learn to sit with rather than trying to quickly fix. Because the fixing and trying to fix quickly and not having the answers will trigger anxiety and keep you in a survival mindset. When we get triggered, emotions probably take about 90 seconds to rush through our system if we don't add anything else to it. But the challenge is when we try to add something else, we look at the future, worry about the past, we're adding more and more 90 seconds, and it just we become enveloped with just not knowing how to do and overwhelmed. So I encourage you to don't give up. Seek support when you need it. It can be from trusted individuals, not just your friends or people that you hang with, people who can be trusted. And not everybody who asks you how you're doing can be trusted.
Ooh.
So please be mindful of who you open up to and share your sacred space and your sacred stories with.
Ain't that the truth? Mike,
Wow.
absolutely.
Wow.
I mean,
I don't know where we go from here.
I
because
mean,
the
sit
show is
with
over,
it.
but I just want to.
We wanna continue,
I just want
right?
to sit here and just listen to what you have to share, because
for
brother,
sure. Speak Harmony
let me tell
family.
you.
Sit
Ooh.
with this
Yes.
and share this.
Share this.
All right. It's time to go. And we just had a great time in our show.
Thank you.
And we hope, Speak Harmony family, that you all did too. And we invite you to comment and make suggestions. Thank you once again, Brother Warren
Queen.
Bongo.
Yes, I.
Chief, we give thanks, Mitchell.
Much love, much
All right. And again, to our sponsor, APAP Media, big up Mr. P and
Big ups.
Damien for producing this
Yes.
podcast. See you all next Tuesday right here, YouTube, 7P to 7A. And until...
7 p.
Did I say that again?
7 to 8. It's all
that
good.
last week.
7 to 8 p.m.
7 to
It's all
8
good.
p.m. 1 hour. We're good, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Can't get that hospital 7A to 7P to 7A. I was always working that shift. All right.
You're still on that shift,
YouTube.
sister.
Yes.
Like,
And-
subscribe, and share, guys. We've got information.
All right.
Oh,
And until
come on.
then,
Until
keep
then,
speaking
blessings.
harmony.
Yes.
One love.
Always one love.
They talk about health, they talk about care, sharing tips, they got us without a care. Thank you for listening, you're the best. See you next week to keep the best. Together we learn, together we grow. There'll be lesson every hour, we know. See you next week with more stories to tell. More wisdom, more smile.